I'm just gonna drop in intro, isn't it?
Oh yeah, dropping in.
I'm a man of fear.
Wait, bro. Yeah, I consume something about being or what about it. General.
Bridget make the joke like you know some $3 million dollar.
Like you'd enjoy gay porn. Like you'd
No what?
play
Alright, welcome once again guys to the Jano podcast.
General.
Jano with you again.
You know some $3 million for $3 million now.
Yeah, I really got to that with that.
Alright. Welcome again guys to the Jano podcast. And tonight's topic will be around entitlement issues. Is our generation entitled? Do we have a problem? Is it at a level where it's concerning? Oh boy. Damn, do I really love this place. Okay, let's really jump straight into it then. Because I do think I have all to take on this topic myself. So, what do you guys think entitlement really surrounds? Let's put our guest speaker, Purple, on the stand first. So Purple, when you hear entitlement now, like what's the first thing that really comes to mind?
White.
Hey, you. Well,
White is the
oh,
first thing that comes to mind. I hear entitlement and I think white skin.
white. Oh, well, I mean, damn, that's really vocal. Damn, I don't have any words.
Moods, I saw that on mute and then mute. The new moons must say something. The
Of
new
course,
moons
more
must
to
say
say
something.
something. First off, that is
Here
the
we
most
go.
racist thing me ever
I
hear
knew
in
it.
my life.
I knew it.
No, but how is it racist though?
Real
Really?
thing, bro.
You say
It's
white,
true.
you say white people are the first thing when I think about entitlement would be the most racist thing me ever hear in my life.
I don't think so because if
No,
somebody
it's
asks
true.
me, when you think of sushi, what first come to your mind? And I'm like Asian.
What?
Chinese.
Whoa!
Like, it's a
Yeah,
lot
it
of
would,
cars
it
Bro,
would be
that-
racist.
that's-
It would be
that's
racist when you think about
fucking
sushi and
racist.
about Asian.
Okay,
Who's
in
the
different
racist, bro?
context, white privilege can be synonymous with entitlement.
Yes,
Exactly.
I think
But
that's true.
white privilege is not real people. It's time when
Man, you come off of this. Back off the man, Mike.
No. White privilege don't real. It's all bullshit. It's bullshit made up
Moons.
by people who just want to use the system to make
Moons.
more money off of it. What?
Moons.
What?
Are you white?
Am I white?
Yes, are you white?
It depends.
All right.
No, man, this nigga.
What happens on the moon?
Brother,
Where do
man.
you mean? It don't matter what me be. I'm willing to defend racist actions and racist thoughts.
No. So
Wait,
now you're going to change. Now you're going to
rephrase
change the
that
topic of the whole
Brother,
podcast.
we don't want
Listen.
no activists.
Rephrase that.
I don't want an activist, but you have somebody who just jump on and talk about how the first thing them think about when them hear entitlement is white. No,
And he's not right.
Because you think of privilege and
I'm not agree,
it's white
I'm not agree
privilege.
with that type of shit here. Imagine if
Oh,
you
so
come
you
out-
go.
wipe the topic.
What on the moons? You seem like I can't get it now. What on the moons? What on the moons? Just
Yeah,
stop right this.
Yeah, just hold on. Make everybody give their opinion first, then we'll get into it.
Alright. So let's damn. Wow, that really started off strong. Damn. So Nipples, when it comes down to entitlement now, what's the first thing that you think? Let's see if it's anything similar to what Mr. Purple thinks.
Oh God. Okay. Well, the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of entitlement is what my mother would say if I expressed anything that she did wrong in terms of her parenting style.
Oh, alright. No, you see, I like that. Give me a little more context on that. Go a little deeper for me. Pause.
I don't know, just basic like just love and affection. No, I'm not kidding. But no, just like basic things that like you would expect from a parent or that you see in like movies where like the parents is like, oh, I love you, and you're like, fuck. Must be nice.
Amazing.
And then they're like, oh, I can't say that because that's, well, oh God. Thank God nobody knows who I actually am. But like, my mother actually said to me once, like, oh, I'm not going to say I love you because I have 4 other kids and, you know, you're not special. And so, yeah. So it's like, that's what comes to mind.
Damn, that took a turn. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, some polar opposites. Well, okay. Atlas Major says I do.
The man
so
was
I,
too stunned to speak.
all right. Well, in that case, damn, yo, you people are absolutely incredible, man. I love speaking to you guys. So when you put those things together now, white and the love of a mother. Wow, damn,
What?
yo. Damn, it's crazy. Anyways, so yeah, let's look at the actual problem now. So, what do you call a Gen Z? People that are born like after 2000, right? Like 2000 onward, right?
I think 1999 or 98.
So basically 90s and up.
Yeah. Late
Oh,
90s.
okay.
Late
Yeah,
90s.
late 90s. All right, Zine, and we've seen a trend. Let's pull some history into it. Would you say that the LGBTQ would have come from the entitled movement of people wanting to push their rights, like they want
What do
to
you mean
actually?
entitled movement?
No, when I
I
say as in
believe
like,
he's trying to say feminists.
Your
what?
bigotry.
What?
No, what? What are you talking about?
I think he's talking about the BMWs and the brand.
Oh, brother, the man attack somebody, brother.
Dog,
What?
what in God's
The
name?
man
What's
say
that
matter
about
about
feminism?
feminism. I say, hmm?
Yeah. No, but when I say this, I mean like because the whole homosexual movement before the whole reason people kind of frown at it was because for years and years it's been something that has been traditionally bad. Like people look down at it, but now it has gotten recognition as something set aside that stands out because people kind of defy the odds, and they did that by forcing their rights on you, basically, and that's essentially what entitlement is.
I
And
feel
then
like
let me cancel the podcast and lock off this because y'all are bigger.
no, like
Hold on.
I feel like
I'm
I
sorry.
feel
who
like
just
you
spoke?
use wrong terminology. I just feel
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
terminology.
So
Yeah,
Okay,
you was
Mr.
wrong.
Ejaculation. How would you put it,
Yeah.
Mr. Ejaculation?
No, I think that wherever you go or like whatever circle, like whoever you are and so forth, I believe that everybody have some level of privilege and everybody have some level of what the word is like struggle that them go through and so forth. Because even with like the feminist movement or the LGBTQ plus movement, like the niggas them struggle and so forth. You get me? But they also have privileges and so forth. So like and I think rights different than privilege. Because rights, like bro, like that's like right is like your God-given right. Like everybody have a right to live and learn and to grow and all of them shit there and so forth. And I think people shouldn't like mix up the two. You get me? Because like privilege is something that you enjoy, but you don't necessarily deserve it. You get what I mean? Say, but like as I say, and when it comes to privilege, it's not necessarily a bad thing. You get me? Because I believe that a level playing field is when everybody have their own specific privileges.
Wait, are we saying that privilege is synonymous with being entitled, with entitlement?
Yeah.
I
Yes. It
disagree.
Yeah, I disagree too.
No, but if
Expound.
no, but because if you have Jim and Jim is white. Jim is privileged because he's white. So yes, it's not the same as entitlement, but in privilege kind of white that he gets certain things afforded to him that isn't afforded to other people that aren't white. Moons, mute your mic, stop talking. I don't want to hear. But that is what it means. That's what the whole concept of white privilege is.
Okay.
Entitlement is you believing.
Well, a lot of times entitlement comes from feeling privileged. So a lot of
people that, for example,
Yeah.
experience
Yeah.
white privilege will feel like they're entitled to do this and that.
Yeah, that's what I
But
was
you can
about
also
to
feel,
say.
yeah, but you can also feel entitled without enjoying any particular privilege. Just like how, in a very general sense, Gen Z, since I don't want to talk about Gen Z, feels like they're entitled to fair wages because you are. But you're not privileged because you feel like you're entitled to that.
Okay, all right. I see where we're
So
going now.
Yeah,
the thing is,
definitely we can make
Wait,
that
hold on. Moons,
distinction.
Moons,
so the thing
when I
is,
hear you might kind of low. You might kind of low, Moons.
when you can hear me now.
Yeah.
All right. So the thing is, I don't really want to get into the whole white privilege argument because I
Then
don't think
don't.
anybody.
Then don't.
Yo,
Brother,
yo,
you
man,
get
talk.
low again.
Why? Because you're wrong?
All right, I'm gonna change my
That
mind. All
wasn't
right,
that
let's get
funny.
into the white privilege
That
thing.
wasn't that funny.
So, when we talk about white privilege, all right, I need you to give me some concrete examples of
Oh
what
God, but
exactly
shut
white
up.
privilege.
Oh,
No, no,
God.
that's
Every
a,
Yo,
time
no,
me
music
kneel
is
to
mad, bro.
support
this
you.
is the problem we always have when people make arguments like this. Is when you already have an idea, so what now say is correct. Don't
Dogs.
ever
First
attempt to
of
Dog,
all,
All
that
right,
being
all
a
right.
predominantly
with me,
black country
Moon,
is not going to
Let
be
him
very
moon,
talk.
obvious. That's the
moon,
no,
first problem.
obvious,
moons,
obviously, we're not gonna talk about the predominantly black country. You know, of course, I talk about a
moons,
first
No,
world
but
nation
look,
like
there's even
America.
current
Yeah,
examples with
imagine.
Yo,
black
lock off the
people
man, Mike.
recently. With even current
moons,
examples.
moons, moons, moons. Like I will give you examples of it. I mean, give you examples like down here in a Jamaica as well. That's no issue, brother. Brother, like white privilege is a thing, brother. Because as me said before, brother, in every group you can find privileges and so forth, brother. But like, brother, we really there debate like white people like never control everything at a point and
Wait, hold
still
on there.
do to
Yeah,
an
but
Honestly,
all
you
right,
know,
extent.
so white
when I
people.
started this whole
When I say
discussion,
white
I never
people
meant to
control
steer it with
everything at
that
one
Yeah,
too.
it's
point, are you
getting
saying that
weird
every
now.
brother,
individual,
when I
like
say brother, when I
person,
want
can
to
fight
speak,
control everything?
brother.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
hold
Okay,
on,
yeah,
there,
reel
one
hold
it
on, there,
voice,
hold
in,
one
on,
voice,
there.
reel it
one voice,
in.
one
Hold on,
voice,
there, hold
one
on
voice,
there.
one voice.
Mooney, you look out here, Mike. Hold on there now. So, all right, let me restate the conversation because when I jump all boat. All right, so let me give you some context. So, let's say Keisha. Me love Keisha, you know. Me love use Keisha. So let's say Keisha has a boyfriend and he goes to med school, Zin, and because her boyfriend, let's call him John, because
Oh,
John is making like 5 bills, 500K a month, she feels that she's supposed to get something from him, and I think that's where the entitlement factor comes in now. So because John is making several figures per month and he has a certain lifestyle, she feels that because she's his partner, she should be getting that lifestyle as well. I think that's where the entitlement part comes in now. So let's
I know
work with that. Why does it?
Uh,
I'm gonna
I have a
disagree.
question.
Why? Right after
Brother, you
him
can't tell
answer.
yourself, brother, you can't tell yourself so you're gonna get yourself in a relationship with a significant other. And you depend on a level. And she depend on a level at another level same way. Say for instance, you're a millionaire, you make your money, brother. And you tell me say you're not gonna contribute to fair growth if you reach your level for at least can say, yeah, we can work together in a equality.
Yeah,
Fuck
but
no, she
at the
don't
end
get
of the day,
shit.
that is a choice of yours. It's not for her to feel entitled to what is yours. It's just you for no say, I'm a girl and have compassion
Real.
and
Have
just no say, yeah.
compassion.
Yeah,
That's true. That's true. You can
that's
have
compassion
compassion.
and that's love. That's you giving without expecting in return. But she's wrong if she's just expecting it because for whatever reason, she not expect it. I just you for do it and she for just be grateful and done.
Yeah, but that's the thing now. Like the whole expectation. That's the problem.
All right.
So
Someone made a comment. Someone made a
Yo, this
comment here.
deep.
Can you read that out, Witty? Please.
okay, so let's see the comment by Siobhan Grant. Entitlement stem from people value themselves for what they think they are worth, but really and truly they aren't. Because others see people with them things and feel like say them have that too. Yeah, that is
The first part, yeah,
essentially
good definition. The second part,
yeah.
personal.
I feel like
Yeah,
that's
the
talking about
second
entitlement in two different contexts.
yeah, that's two different contexts for
I
sure.
would like to
But
go back to what I said earlier though, because I realized that nobody never really too touched on that.
what's
I
that?
feel like it's an actual like issue in Jamaica, like
What's the
just
issue?
bad parenting in general, and
Bad parenting,
maybe
okay.
yeah, like you mentioned Gen Z earlier. I think that's definitely linked to how they view themselves or how they would prefer to be treated. Because them sister like them parents probably like kind of just effed the
I have a
economy.
question to each. Hello.
Wait,
Yes,
now
We're
yes.
hearing you. We are
let's
hearing you.
attack Nipple's point first before you ask the question. So hold the question and let's look into Nipple's thing first. So Nipples, what's your point right now?
I don't know. I just thought like we could expound on that. Like nobody have no thoughts about that.
Entitlement in
I
the
have
context
thoughts.
of parenting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have some thoughts. Like I think it
Mhm.
stems from Gen Z as we're talking about. We've grown up to expect better treatment in general. And honestly, where it stems from, I'm not even sure. But this generation seems to want to rewrite what's been done previously. So even with parenting, most of our parents were parented like shit. Them never raised good. They were raised like
Yeah.
animals. But we know, we come and see it and say, all right, I don't think you have beat me like dog. But because our parents were raised in the
Real.
manner in which they were raised, they still believe that, yo, may I feed you. So that love thing you are too much you ask for now. And they think we're entitled for asking for that. But are we really entitled for asking for that?
That is actually a very good question.
Really?
I
According to my
personally,
mother, we are.
Because I remember even when I was younger, right? Not to cut you.
Yeah.
I remember once I was just sitting down minding my merry business and a text reached my phone and it was my father sending me a video. So I said, why my father that text? Why am I send me one video? And I watched the video and it come from one movie. So I said, this weird, but me go see what it say. I watched the video and in the video it was Mr. Denzel Washington going on a rant to his son. But oh, yo, me not love you, you know. Me feed you, me clothe you. What that mean? If I don't love that, what? And I say, yo, what kind of message this much I send me?
You might try to send the correct message. The correct message.
Yo,
being
Moons,
that you have
Yeah, hey,
make him argue point. Make him argue point.
I don't think that with them people.
Like I'm fed up.
It's like me can't talk around them people.
You
No,
fucking can.
Moons, go ahead. Moons, so answer.
Man, I try to teach him son one message for don't expect certain things like people to love you or care about you in a typical way what would generally expect people to do. The man I show you say, yo, as a man in this world, you have a responsibility. His responsibility to his son was to make sure same son did come out okay. His responsibility wasn't to sit down and give him kisses and give him hugs and tell him say I'm the greatest little human being wherever did born.
Passion.
And the only reason, and just the last thing I'm gonna say, and the only reason why we come to expect this out of people right now is because the society gets so soft that we don't realize
No.
First of all,
hold on.
as a parent, it's your basic expectation, obligation to feed your child and clothe your child. They're not going above and beyond to make sure your child is fed, clothed, and housed. That's a number one. Second of all, a child is entitled to be loved and to feel loved, whether or not you're a man or a boy or what. That's a number one. And it's the same reason why when you complain, say, oh, I don't feel like I'm loved and I can't talk about this because man, this man, that. Shut the fuck up.
My thing is, like, I actually disagree. Sorry. Hold on.
Yo, hold on, Moons. Hold on.
Can I speak? Teacher.
What's a question, Moons?
Sure.
Yo, so
alright, fuck me.
Then it wouldn't go along to morality then. It wouldn't be if it is that it's right or wrong.
Wait, we can say something.
Me
well, like, yeah, but understand the
hold on there. Wait,
yo, one at a time.
What was your question? Wait. Nipples, what is it?
I just wanted to say something to what Moon said. So my thing is that, right, we know the world is like harsh, right? We know you're not gonna get love everywhere. We know, especially for a man, life is very hard, right? My thing is, them have to have like everybody deserves a safe space where they can be like, oh, at least I'm loved here, where they can know they're actually loved and they can be taught how to love. Because the reason why a lot of people are angry and like effed up in other societies because they just don't know how to love because they were never loved, right? So we know like how the world stay. my point is your parents should be the first, your initial experience of love. So you can feel like, okay, yeah, it is real. Like the world is messed up, but at least we know say it real. So we not say, oh, them for us rough up and but yeah, say, and actually I disagree with Farid when she said, what did you say just now, Farid? Everybody was talking when someone could really make
I
out what you
said
say.
that it's a parent's basic obligation to take care of their child and feed them, and whether or not you're a man or not, you're still supposed to experience what it feels like to be properly loved by your parents. And I'm not talking about like, oh, going in the wider world. Like, obviously you're going to tell your pick them that and everybody are gonna love them, but from your parents, you crazy?
No man, I you did say after that.
Oh, that is certain mentality like this fuck up men in general.
Oh yeah, well I agree with everything you said then. Yeah, it was kind of confusing just now. But yeah, Moon's like I think I don't know. I think that's really flawed. How you see that? I don't know if you're a troll. I can't even tell at this point because it's gotten so
No,
bad.
you see, I'm actually not trolling. And before my answer, you might just go back to weather report there say in regards to morality and right or wrong. I'm not quite sure how you can decide what necessarily is right or wrong in this world. I think we kind of just come up with them ideas here from our own.
Huh?
So,
Hold on. Going back to Farid.
Bro, what?
You know why I'm asked that? Going back to Farid. When Farid is say, Farid, what you say?
Which part of it?
Nobody
Farid said
remembers
something
much.
that-
The last part?
Yeah, and nipples pick up on it.
That this is having this mentality tends to fuck men up in general.
No, parents. No, parents. The obligation for parents.
Oh, that parents have a basic obligation to take care of them picnic.
Exactly. So, would it be wrong if they didn't?
Yes.
Yes. What?
Why?
You see, like
Because
no.
you are. Oh my god! You can't
'Cause
bring
you
a child,
made a
a literal
decision.
infant
The
here.
concept of entitlement, you know.
No, it's not entitlement. It is
Yeah,
the
it's
It's
requirement.
responsibility.
It is the requirement.
It's
By law.
responsibility. It's
Not
requirement.
by
It's,
law. By
no,
law. Yes, by law.
100%
By
you have
law.
an
morality,
obligation.
completely
by
by law.
humanity,
Even
by
You have
even if
laws
ethics,
you
enough
want to
to
remove
cover
morality out of the
by
argument, because
biology. Need I
exactly,
go
because
on?
animals don't have no sense of morality, but animals still take care of them picnic up to a point.
Exactly.
Like,
how you decide
Not
how
every
you
animal.
define take care
which
of
animal
picnic. As
doesn't?
far as some animals concerned, they
Fishes.
take care of them picnic once them leave it for like 1 week.
And that's why
And
we're
that's
not animals,
and
right?
those animals are going to die in the span of 1 year, so it's the same thing as 18 years, or not even
Yeah.
18. You can all go 14, 10. The fuck?
Look,
No,
like
no, that's
I-
not
What
the
I'm
case.
saying is it entitlement based off of just pure emotion? So going back to what Witty said, the initial statement about the relationship thing, isn't it just how you feel? Is it just right to just give back to the person?
No, not necessarily. Because if me and Keisha there, I feel like I don't have to. No, I if me want to do something,
You see it? You see what
and
me
me
ask?
want give her a mango, I would just give her the mango out of the kindness of my heart. But if she come to me and say, "Oh, give me a mango," because she feels she's entitled to the mango, man, kick her foot. Cause that don't make sense.
No,
Because
brother,
the-
you're spiteful.
Damn.
No, but entitlement is in itself. It's negative in itself. It seems negative.
Subjective.
Yeah, say that, brother.
Yeah, that's
No,
subjective.
I
It's not.
But
No,
yo,
subjective.
14.
There's no way you can come to another person because you believe you're entitled to something and it doesn't come off wrong.
Alright, make a put
There's
this
no
in
way
our-
I can
No,
do it.
hold on. Let me
but,
give an example. Hold on.
but like, isn't
Wait, hold on.
entitlement
Make Farid go
subjective?
first. Make
Hold
Farid go
on. The
first.
example of basic I don't think anything is inherently wrong with being entitled. If you're going into a relationship, you are I think you're entitled, for example, to loyalty. Like for example.
Exactly, that's
I
a
agree.
very
You have
definition
certain
No.
of
But
No, I don't
mezzo.
think
But
so.
entitlement
I
is
think it
I mean,
subjective.
in
depends
a
based
general
upon
sense,
what
obviously within the
I think.
parameters of your own relationship. So if it's an open relationship, then that's
Yeah.
different. But in a very basic sense,
Hold on. I think okay. My
I
thing
guess
is
it varies.
entitlement has to be something that. When I hear me,
Yes.
You're
Yes,
loud.
we're hearing you.
Okay, that is agreed upon, right? So if we decide, okay, we are in a relationship, you've asked me to be in a relationship with you, we are
Mm-hmm.
monogamous, then I am
He's
entitled to your
entitled.
loyalty because we have discussed the fact that we are together, we are exclusive, and we would have discussed that, hey, cheating is a deal breaker for me. So that makes me entitled to your loyalty, right?
V.
No, in regards to the parenting thing, a child cannot disclose their basic needs. They can't communicate, right? Because they're a baby, they haven't formed words yet. So obviously they are entitled to the proper care, just out of law, just out of ethics, just out of biology. I mean, your body literally produces milk so you can feed your child. So I don't think that's a
Real.
question. Like, Moons, please go and
Okay,
kill
I
yourself because
agree to
that's
us.
just weird. And
Yo,
then
yo,
Wait, can
please,
I comment on that?
please.
Can I comment on that too?
Yeah,
Because
Purple, go ahead.
I agree to a certain extent, right? I agree that there's certain entitlements, but
what
where
is that
I
laugh,
don't
bro?
agree, I don't think entitlements are agreed on. I think by nature they aren't agreed on. They're innate. They're just there. You're already
Yeah.
entitled to things.
That's
Agreed.
But then
dumb.
when it comes
I
to
think it
also,
depends though.
but
Like,
when it
okay,
comes
give
to
me a
like,
scenario.
let's
Give me a
say
scenario where an entitlement, where something you're entitled to is not something that is discussed.
Me.
you with
Huh?
your parent, just like you said with your parents, you're entitled to food and shelter. I also think with when it even comes to relationships, I disagree with majority when it comes to relationships. I think you're entitled to resources when you're in a relationship with another
Exactly.
human being.
Like, what the
Real.
fuck
I
is
think
it?
you're
It's not a
entitled.
relationship then.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think you have to agree. Like if like 14 they say 14 get 10 mango a day, the girl expect at least a single mango. If she can expect a mango, fuck with
Exactly.
that. Yeah, I
What
do.
the fuck do you? Yeah, what?
Ah,
You
but
mean
meds
that?
no, but
So
meds no.
I
Nigga, I've been
know.
trying to talk, bro.
Yeah,
But meds
let's get it trying to go through.
Jesus Christ, bro.
You're the gay hypothesis, you know.
Ah,
Go on.
meds. Look. All right. My first instinct is always to say the troll it's up, man. Just make a joke or something. But make a try to talk 100% straight right now. Yeah. So you see that whole entitlement to resources thing is a very sticky situation and so forth, right? Because when people talk about say, well, all right, let us just be frank. When them say entitled to resources, them normally mean in the situation of a woman being entitled to a man's resources, right? When it comes to relationships and so forth. But then no, when we turn around and then we say, oh, a man entitled to sex and blah blah blah, then everybody up in arms.
I wanted to come to that.
Oh,
I
bro, my
wanted to come
body,
to that.
wow.
my
I
child,
wanted
right?
to
No,
come to
let
that.
me done now,
Alright,
let
man,
me done now.
Yeah, make
Let
him
me done
finish.
now, let me done now.
Yeah,
Because
go
like,
through.
me a listen to it now. Me I hear all sort of hypocrisy and all sort of thing I get thrown around now. But you know, me not say nothing. But like, you see, in a perfect world, yes. People entitled to people resources or whatever. Help the person reach by your level or whatever and so. But in the world where me live in, me no know about food in the world. Me see man, take woman send her through college and so forth, and a woman left him when she reach a certain level, Talk about say, cause first of all, we know woman not like man we below them or they on their level, them like above.
Hypergamy,
We know
yes,
that,
brother.
right?
Real.
Wait.
Lad, I come
Reds,
clean.
meds no?
Yo, I never think about that at all. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, but I'm for
You wanna
real.
preach?
But meds is no, and meds is no. And me always a grow and I learn more things, So like, me never 100% of me right, But brother, like, a lot of the time people go, it's when this resources thing talk about, brother, enough people get used, Brother, even in my family, brother, me know a brother, me couldn't believe say me and the man related. Woman use the man dashing when man nearly kill himself, Big woman thing,
Yo, we have to just call
No,
out
but
the
you know,
cons. We
that's
can't
the
use
thing,
and focus
though,
on the topic, brother.
because I
No,
feel
but
like
that's why me
we
say,
think of the extreme when we think of like
Yeah,
entitlement.
no, brother, on
Like
an
we think of
extreme,
big
brother,
women
is
and
a
like,
real.
mhm.
Brother, is a thing where happen more often than you think, brother. Brother, like meds.
But bro,
You know
that's
what
like
the
on a
issue is?
larger scale. Well, then again, at the
No,
same thing,
you see what the issue is when we feel a lot of time? Women more vocal than men when them talk about the things where they want and them things that they feel entitled to more than men. So, but bro, there's a lot of things where people are so
Bro,
entitled to them just now.
Hold on there.
Hold on. Brother, the whole time humanity them on God earth. Woman a take, literally. I wait till them a pussy for brother. Them forget.
Yo, anyways.
Bro, no, you see what me I talk about though? No, me not like. You see what you talk about though?
Hey.
But you see, me not want to
No, but the thing
But
is-
hold on. Why are we
Hey.
blaming women? Once again, we keep blaming women for things that men.
We're
decide
not.
to
I'm
do.
not blaming women for anything, you know.
Cause
God,
Cause
man,
him
I
decide
actually
to
believe.
take
No,
all
no,
that
look now.
chilling.
Wait,
Look
hold
now.
on.
Give
Look
give
now.
to woman for she go school like him a big skigged.
No.
First of all, I
But
want
so,
to wait. Hold on. Don't even hold on. I have something to say.
Real.
The context of entitlement in that you're talking about, at least, they're completely different. Because when a woman goes into a relationship, for example, with a big man with a certain level of resources, whatever, she isn't forcing that man to do anything for her. That's a
yeah,
number
man.
one.
No, oh,
He-
yeah, yes. They
Hold
don't
on,
gonna say this.
hold
Me
on.
never tell him to do that. It was
Hold on.
his choice that you use the man and dash him away. Yo,
No, I
split
No,
know.
but I
your
feel like this girl into
Jack, I know
deep
it's
this
messed
type of
up, but it
conversation.
is the truth.
Let me finish.
Yo,
Let me
yeah,
finish.
me know that you not gonna say.
Let me finish. So she didn't force that nigga to do anything. If he never want to do it, he could have left her, she could have left him, whatever. A lot of times in the context of male entitlement, to the specific example that you gave, that niggas feel like they're entitled to pussy. That's in a
Really?
completely different context. So if a woman chooses not to give a man pussy, 9 times out of 10, depending on the man at least, you're gonna hear one bag of something or he's gonna take it. And men feel entitled to vagina. Some men.
Look,
That have a
look,
right.
So
mean,
it's
look,
completely
look,
different.
Look, as me
It's not
say,
detrimental to a
Look
man
now.
when no, it's not detrimental to a man when a woman says, "Oh, you know, I might feel like I'm entitled to get this and that," because he doesn't have to give her 9
no,
times out
look
of
now.
10. Like,
That's why no, make me done. No, make me
Really,
done.
really.
Listen, look now. I actually believe
You
that
ever make a
people
woman
are
finish you?
entitled.
But make you
What?
done. God.
All right, calm down.
I joke, man.
I actually believe that people are entitled to certain things and so forth. I like some of the things them that women talk about. Some of them at least. Them actually, well, most them actually rational and like that it's expected and it is fine. You get me? And so I don't have an issue with it and so forth. I just have an issue when a lot of these things aren't even reciprocated and so forth, right? And again, me don't like when I try to devolve when me I say just the basic vagina. You get me? Because I don't even from this me I talk about. Because if a woman feel like she want to take, that's fine and so forth. I'm not even that type of guy who get
No,
the vagina
no,
hurt.
that's a
You
complete
get me?
contradictory to what you say now.
Yo,
What? No, I'm saying
I
men.
think we should let him
Oh, me not
finish.
try to
I'm
talk
sure
about
that is
Yo.
what you said.
Let him speak.
So, all I want
Brother,
to say is,
basically, may I just wrap up with me I say? Basically, what me I saying? Let me just wrap up with me I say, man.
Wait, Moons, your mic
touch-
is really low.
touch-
Your mic is really low, Moons.
oh, sorry,
Basically, what me I say is, when it comes to entitlement, it is purely from perspective and on our part. When it comes to relationships, at least, people need to be vocal about what they want and so forth and so, and don't try to use people and so forth. Because a lot of things where you feel entitled to, it's only because of the situation that you are in. And blah blah blah. You get me? Yeah.
Give me way.
Facts.
You see?
So what you know? So I'm going back to the example that Purple made with the 10 mango. I don't necessarily believe that if you're with somebody, you're entitled to their resources. I think that's a very slippery slope, and I think if that is accepted, it leaves room for a bit of unfairness. Because if me have 15 mango, me and Farid married, 50 year, me have 15 mango. Farid wanna believe that Farid is entitled to my mangoes. Cool. But then at that rate, aren't I entitled to her resources as well? So aren't I entitled to like 10 backers a day?
Yeah, once again, though, it's based on the dynamic. It's based on the dynamic of the relationship. Back to what Jack said, it's what's agreed upon. Like,
Elation.
No, but we don't,
Yeah.
we don't have to discuss whether she's not going to if it has to be discussed, then how far
Then
does
it's not
entitlement reach
entitlement.
into that?
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to. If she feels she's entitled, she's not going to come to me and say, "May I have 5 mango?" If she feels she's entitled, she's just going to take 5 mango.
Hey yo, careful how you move. Careful how you go forward with that now.
No,
That's a
no,
good
hear me
point.
as a king. So if she feels she's entitled to 5
That's a
of
good
mine,
point.
This nigga said king.
aren't I entitled to 50 bucks a day?
No, but
Yeah.
you have to be proportional, man. That's the thing. Because that's why these examples can't be so extremish. Because if you're, for instance, if you're in a 15-year relationship and on a work, on entitled to pool on the resources, but she not entitled to take cocky 5 days a week, that don't make sense. That
Why
not
Yeah,
equivalent.
like
Wait,
15
but
why
years.
not
Come on.
Equivalent.
No, but that don't make any sense. How are we entitled to resources if I'm not entitled to her resources?
You
What if
see,
I-
this is
what
what
So
I
it
was
might
saying
only
earlier.
define
You
as
can't
resources.
devolve every. No, you
It
see,
define
you
as
know,
her resources.
that's actually disrespectful
Wait,
to
hold
women,
up,
you know.
hold
Hold
up.
on, hold on, hold
Because
on.
immediately I realized that when we talk about resources, we equate
Wait, is
man
that
to
my
money and
Wi-Fi
woman to
or?
vagina.
And woman to
You see what I mean?
vagina, like,
Exactly.
is that the
sense.
only resource a woman has?
No, but
Exactly.
Like, no,
let's say
in
me, I am rich. The world we live in, the
I
currency.
nearly
you guys
called the
hear me?
govy bumble class.
Zing,
Yes, we can hear
the
you.
world we live in, the currency is mangoes. I am the richest man in the world. Me there with just some random girl. She has nothing. Poor girl. Me I send her go school and all of that. She has nothing, but she has backers. Sight.
No, but
What resources am I entitled to from her if she has nothing?
love, affection, time,
That's not
care.
resources.
No, the blood.
Whoa!
Those
No,
are
you know what? You're
resources.
now saying that all she have with valuable is her vagina. Yeah,
Better
try to
just
tell
go
me.
on and walk
No,
over.
but no, hold on. Let me,
No, wait, hold on.
hold on.
Wait,
Purple,
hold on.
purple. My father said something. So why him can't just give she all of the love and all that bullshit?
That's
and
the
none of
thing. He
resources
can.
then?
He can.
No, I don't have to give her
He
mangoes.
can.
Then,
Then
then
I don't
the
have to
resources
give her
not
any
to
of
be
my
a factor
mangoes.
at all then.
But you said that I have
No,
to give her some
we
of
don't
my
have to.
mangoes.
It's not that you have to give her X resources. It's that she's entitled to resources in general, just as how you are entitled
No,
to general
to
resources.
but it
So the
doesn't.
boss are parents now. Her parents.
But then the thing is,
Purple,
no,
shut up,
if you're,
nigga.
for instance, because at this point, everything
man,
sounds
some
too
weak
damn
man, brother.
transactional now. Because if she rich and you broke, are you going to say, "Oh, you're rich, so I'm entitled to your resources, and you can get cocky anytime you want"? That don't make no sense.
Yeah,
But brother,
Wait,
are
minute,
you
minute,
first start with it, Purple? Are you first start with it, you know?
No, but I
Confident.
started with the resources argument, not the
Obviously,
sex
something in
argument.
return.
Sex is a different thing.
Entitlement can
No,
still be
you see what me talk
one-sided,
about?
though.
Wait, fine, what I say?
Entitlement can still be one-sided.
No, but that's the case.
No,
That's
but
what
then
we're
that's
arguing about. It
unfair.
shouldn't be.
Exactly, but I'm saying there's
That's
still
what I meant.
it's
That is why I
not
don't
even.
believe in it. That is why I don't believe that people are entitled. My partner is
No,
entitled. to
right
No,
now,
but you
I think
don't.
Purple
But
be
it
one
sounds like the
hypocrite.
only reason you don't believe in an entitlement is because you can't get sex any single time you want. But that don't make no sense.
Ejaculation.
Because
So
that's not the definition of entitlement.
I have a serious like question. So if
Mm.
you and a girl like married or in a debt together or whatever, like live together, so she isn't entitled to Bumbleclip. It's
Excuse me?
Pardon me?
John O'Shea rock up over there.
like resources. Do you not see it? Like if a woman, for example, if you don't live together or married or have picnic or whatever, she would be entitled to resources just by virtue of the fact that you live together and don't have children together.
Yeah.
Farid, we can ask you a question.
That's
Yeah, just
the
ask a
question I'm
question.
What's the
No.
question?
This question, I answer that question.
Hold on, before you ask for the question, should we look at entitlement based off the conditions of a relationship then?
So,
Nah,
let me,
First, we're talking about
let me just
gender
ask my
relationship, though.
Medzo, and this is for all of the young ladies, right? Because, men, I'm like, me don't like, so this just a devolve to vagina and so forth. I don't like that because women offer more than just vagina.
Like,
But yo, Moody, shut up, Moons, shut up, bro, stop the man. You know it's funny how moons are like the other side and then purple are like the other side. You get me? You see the dichotomy where we're going? Anyway. But
before you say, I'm just want to say, I think Purple will be one real hypocrite right now because
no. Purple is being a bitch. Yeah, it's real. Big bitch. Yeah, for real. I agree with you. I agree with you. Big B.
There's a specific
Brother,
kind of
from the man the deep up in voice in the beginning, me know say no use that shit.
Purple, me not try attack you right
Ah,
now.
but me ask my question.
Yo, Purple,
And this
are
is
you alone them carry up with some? In this them pussy, yeah.
no.
No, but you want
No,
if we
when
draw
I
the
report
line,
a
chop
real
off-
you. You're a real you. You're a
Ask
real
the
you. I'm gonna-
question.
Yeah. All right. And this is just no, cause I am trying to work out this right now. You know, within a relationship and so forth. You get me? That's why me I ask this question, right? So, boom. Like, when a guy come to a girl and say, "Yo, blah blah blah, yeah, let me get sex," right? And she say, like, "No, I'm not in the mood right now," and blah blah blah, right? Fine. But then when a girl come to a guy, right, most of the time, if not all the time, she get it and so forth. And I have even heard women say, "Yo, me entitled to that male appendage." You get me? And so forth, right? But then when it comes to certain things and so forth, we come to certain things and so forth, like it seems like there's like this like people can't agree upon it. So I just want to hear how on the process that whole sex thing, because like it's like guys already know what them I think when they come to you, but more want to hear what Una think when the guy come to Una, and like when Una say, "Yo, no to the sex." Like, is it like a malicious thing sometimes? You get me? I just want to hear what Una have to say.
Me hear say one girl now.
Can I go?
Go off, nipples.
Okay, I think sometimes men forget that like the entirety of a woman's being is like 70% everything else in biology, and like the rest of percentage I can't do math, so it's like 20, 30.
30.
Whatever
Nah,
is
the girl
left
is always out
is
for the
just
bigger
like
man, brother.
emotions and hormones and all these other factors that like affect our moods constantly, right? Because we're built differently according to biology. So think of it this way, like we're just not in the mood, as we said. Like, why does it have to be something else? Why does it have to be malicious? Yes, it can be depending on the situation and the woman. Like sometimes when you just have to take up some crosses, girl, right? But in the grand scheme of things, we're not going to be in the mood all the time because that's how our body's designed. Like we have higher sex drive moments when we're ovulating and things like that. So there's just so many layers that is just like it's not just that one thing. And sometimes she really just isn't in the mood. Like sometimes when if you just listen to a girl, like everything when you just take as
Not the
malicious. Like come on.
Bro, like,
Hold on.
Personally,
Let's
would
do
take it as
No,
good.
malicious.
don't overtake that. Big
Can
man.
Would I
ask
take
one
it as
question for steering
disrespectful?
back to
Because
First of all, bro.
For steering
I
back
don't
to
think-
entitlement, right?
Hold
But
on.
no,
Let me
go on
answer.
then,
Hold
go
on. Let
on
me
then.
answer your question though. Two things. One, I personally don't tend to turn that down. One. Two, you don't. Generally, it's accepted.
Real.
Cap!
yo, you know what? She's smart. She don't generally turn it down because she knows that if she did, she'd have been at one very bad standing with her man. Because her man would like her.
I agree. I
You can't talk.
She feel like she have to give it up to the man.
I don't feel like I have to do anything because you don't know me as a
your
person.
relationship
But
should
anyway,
be solid enough to where like
is
it's not gonna
subservient.
she decides say she
Yo,
not give your
brother,
fuck for that
Yo,
one.
that
not
was
the
me.
subservient.
Yo,
Anyway,
place.
Yo, wait till mute them, man. Boom.
Yo, moves, big up yourself.
anyway, in a very general sense, you know that like men have higher sex drives than women, right?
That's
a
why
Like a man
like
can
come
fuck
on.
multiple times a day,
is
and a
a
woman will
lie.
probably take one fuck. I said
That's a
generally,
lie.
bro.
That's
Don't
a lie.
start
General.
me today. It's in a very general context that it's accepted that men have higher sex drive than women. So a man will fuck 5 times for the day. Like, please.
Yeah,
Can we say
let me just
specific?
You know
more
about
ask
that.
one thing about the
I don't think
entitlement
so.
thing, right? When it comes to the entitlement, so we draw the line that you're entitled to people body. Come we say, if we say men not entitled to women's body, women are entitled to men's body. When we draw the line there, do you think entitlement should exist in relationships without
No man
the sex
probably a
in
move like a
general?
nice guy. How we are trying
No.
to
Listen, if the man is not entitled to sex, then nobody not entitled to shit. That's
Hey,
how the
So
relationship
if
is.
so, wait,
yo.
so if we're not
So
talk
that's
sex,
the
we can't
entire
talk
basis
entitlement.
of
And
a
that way I say,
relationship for you, Moons?
The entire relationship is sex.
if we can't talk sex, we
The
can't
entire
talk
relationship
entitlement.
isn't sex, but almost the entire relationship predicated on the facts of me I fuck you. That are the
That's
thing we
not
separate.
true.
That's
That's
Which
the
not
girl
thing.
them
true.
you
That's
date?
That
not
Hold
is
on.
the
true,
thing that
man.
That's
separates you
weird.
from a friend
Moons,
them.
Moons, me wish a healthy relationship on you, so you
No,
can
wait,
grow as a
wait.
person.
I think
Me
we
know
have
we
the
shit, cause I
argument
go
here before.
traumatize the
I think
people
we
them
have the
girl with me.
argument here before. When are the last time you did in a relationship with somebody where you don't fuck, you never plan for fuck, and you never yet fuck?
But
Tell
that
Oh,
me.
yeah,
wasn't the
tell the story,
majority
Nima.
of it,
Story,
brother. There
Nima.
was
The
other
story, Nima. The
things.
story.
Can I say something?
Some
Can I
minutes,
There
say
was
yeah,
other
the
something?
things.
relationship
No,
has
remember
other
that
things, but
entitlement
it's
Wait.
we're
almost
not talking about, you
entirely
know.
Hold on
predicated
there.
It
on what we
wasn't
have.
entirely that, bro. It
Hold on,
wasn't
hold on.
entirely, bro.
Hold on the ejaculation.
Hold on, more ask
What
Moons
a-
a question. Moons,
no,
Moons.
what on the
Moons,
character?
hold
What
on,
the
hold on.
character?
Witty. Hold on, man.
Guys, well,
Witty, hold on,
15
man.
minutes.
Well, 15 minutes. More ask Moons a question. Moons. Is your sole purpose for getting into a relationship is to receive sexual favors from your partner? That's what you're saying.
Kinda, yeah. When you come down to it, yeah.
Yo, seek
So you're there with a
therapy. Seek
prostitute.
help.
Hold on. Listen. When me say when it comes down to it, obviously there's other aspects of the relationship we would like perhaps if them have the what you call it like personality and them something there.
The man
Bro,
said, oh,
this
maybe
nigga
if they had a
wild.
Yo, what is
personality.
But
personality?
when we really,
So
when
them
we really,
call it
Yo,
personality.
when we
Moons
really
wild enough.
Moons, Moons.
Moons,
You
like
has
purple
never
with the
been in a
fire side, though.
relationship.
Moons.
When you really stop and analyze the nature of the relationships where you keep with people, essentially it kind of boils down to whether or not you're able to fuck that person here. It's the reason why when the girl keep trying you leave her.
Dog,
If you
Moons.
can't fuck you anymore, like the relationship kind of doomed for fail at that point.
Bro, like you see in the beginning, me used to move so and say, yo, vag, you get me? But like, bro, but you see at the time, move on, brother. Bro, really, I just companionship and partnership in a brother car, brother. You see, boy, me I
You
tell
are
you,
a
bro,
big
me I,
man and you have the mentality of a 14-year-old.
Yo, Moons. You
But
ever
like
get
Moon's
Moon, me
not
I,
gonna know
Mine.
until like him meet somebody
Moons,
and him
Like
go
you're
through something
moving
Just
like you
want
serious
just
more.
and him
discover
realize say,
vagina
oh,
2 weeks
Wait,
ago. Like,
hold on.
are you
Make,
insane?
bro.
make
Moons,
whatever
like,
point.
Half would know.
Ask him question.
when you get one girl will like truly love you, brother,
Bro,
that change
yeah.
how you view women, brother.
Yo,
Wait,
Mr.
hold on
Nothing
there.
is trying to talk.
It's not a Moon's therapy session.
Yeah.
Moons is
Wait.
completely
Yeah. Let's move on
and
from that.
focused on Moons.
Whatever point. What you say?
Zine, so I have a question to Farid.
Yeah. After whatever point say I must say, you can ask the question.
Yo,
But
so
I
why
tell
you ask
Moons,
for
say,
so
yo,
much
if
so
the
much
man
question,
ever get
dog?
depressed, yo, Moons, who you go to when they depressed? Your mother?
Bro,
Entitlement, brother.
First off, when I got to nobody when I'm depressed 100% of the time. I'm just
Just
handle
be
it.
out. You need
That's
to
how
get
you
a
do
hot
it.
My youth,
girl.
just
Yeah,
stop.
because your parents
No,
told you
no,
that your
no,
only
man.
purpose is
No,
to
man.
feed you.
Life as a man is depressing.
Yo,
That's
hold
just
on, man. Hey,
We have
Batty
like
boy,
12
let me talk
minutes
to you.
left.
Let me tell you something, you need to get a nice hot girl for all you talk to you, whisper in your ears, you and make you look really stand up. Trust me. Best.
bro,
Stop
please.
chat fuck your brother. Pussy is not always it. God know.
No, but you said that man
Big
in the
facts,
same
brother,
Him
conversation.
not
big
Get
gonna
the
facts.
know
mood to stand
until
up
like him
when they
actually
attack.
get into a
Let
relationship,
the dog
right?
ask the
And him go
question.
through
Yo,
something traumatic and like him realize it or something really embarrassing and she still stick around.
So,
Like that's
so
when you realize. Like when you're broke, you can't offer her shit. And she's
real,
like, you know, I'm still rate you. Then you
For
know.
real, brother, not even,
real.
bro. Like me did there one girl
Goddamn.
one time.
Mr. Nothing.
Wait, yeah. Mr. 14, what you say now?
As me as I said, so going back to the topic of entitlement, yes, that's what we're talking. So Farid, what privileges do you acknowledge that you possess?
I am a woman.
A woman. What?
Women have certain privileges. Yes.
Yeah, like name one. Name
Very
one or a
very
few or
true,
two.
very
Pretty
true.
privilege. Woman privilege.
Amazing. Moons. Do you believe you possess any privilege whatsoever being a male or being a person?
Yeah, I have a bunch of privileges. I born in one decently wealthy country. I'm born with 2 parents in one good neighborhood. No, wait.
Boys with them for years, like though.
Wait.
Like, give up,
Alright,
bro. Just get
option,
out here, man. It doesn't make sense.
option. You're born
Wait, let him
in
answer. Let him
Jamaica.
answer.
You're born in Jamaica to a middle class family, or you can born in a one poor shit ass
Middle-class
place in
family in a one
Africa
third
where
world
you can
country,
starve when
some
you're
shit.
5 and dead. Pick one. Which one you choose? Who more privileged?
You're telling them to choose between life and death?
Exactly, that's the privilege you have. Yes. Born in a one fairly wealthy nation. You never have to worry about.
Technically, it is a privilege. It is a privilege, technically.
Yes.
It literally
No,
is a
but
privilege.
hold
It
on.
seems like
I
them
don't
can't
It's a
understand it.
privilege, but that's such a macro privilege, man. And that if we
Okay,
think
but
about
in
that,
the
I can
grand
say I'm
scheme of
privileged to be a human and
Jamaica,
not a
like we're
crab.
not gonna scrape for everything and just say, oh, that's me a
Yeah,
privilege
man,
come
like
out all
that's
of 10
so
finger then. Like,
wildly
yeah.
encompassing.
What
I'm not
weird?
asking if
What
you're privileged to be a human and
every
not a
time
crab.
when you talk about
I'm
privilege,
asking
all
you,
I do is compare to people who think better off down. That's
goddamn.
what I do right now.
Because
Alright.
they're not
No,
Wait,
because
it
it's
privileged.
we're
it is
No.
okay.
tell us
You know
somebody
what?
did
No,
rich.
wait.
If
Boil
you
it
tell us
down
that
to being in
somebody
a
did
very
rich, that's
ideal
where
world
them
where
privilege.
everybody's a
Hold
middle
on,
class
let
person
him
and
speak,
everybody has
Farid.
access to the same resources. Boil it down to that. What privilege do you have if we're all in the same standing and we're all middle class people and nobody's starving and dying? List
If
your
we
privilege
all
now.
if we're all in the same standing and we all have the exact same things, then obviously we're not a privilege over anybody. If we literally all in the exact same standing, which privilege would I have then? That's like you. That's like me would have said, "Oh, me have one food, you have one food. Well, which one are we better off? Because we have the exact same shit. How? Which one are we better off? Me not fucking
Yeah.
know.
Moons.
Oh, he did answer
Goddamn.
though. He said he has
In
both.
regard.
He grew up with both
Alright.
parents. That is a huge privilege in
It
Jamaica. So he did
it
answer.
is a huge privilege. And being born in Jamaica is a huge privilege. Me don't know
Yes,
why you not
alright.
laugh
Yes,
like say that a
okay,
one
Moons.
joke.
Alright.
It's a better
Okay.
place than to be born in one
Yo.
war-torn country.
You
where you
can't
Alright.
can't
tell
be
me
born.
nothing.
Yo, Mr. 14, what you say?
So, man, I wasn't speaking on a wide scale. In regards to the people, like the people around you, like your circle, the people in this call, are you privileged? What privileges do you have?
Over the people in this call,
Yeah.
just the people in this call.
Yes.
Well, you know, I have a pretty big dick.
Yeah,
That's my nigga right there, bro.
I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to be here anymore.
Yo, Witty. Yo, going
No.
back to something it said at the start of this.
But
Z
wait,
Yo, can we talk about
Miss-
like generational privilege?
Wait, hold on. Mommy, what purple?
I had a question for.
I heard you say a little thing at the start of this podcast, Zine, where you did say you said something about LGBTQ, and you were like, if we think the prevalence or the coming up
Oh,
of the
is a batting on
LGBTQ
this?
movement was
Oh,
Yo,
The comment.
Yo,
Yeah, no.
purple, we not judge. Yeah, G.
And what
No.
I say is, I
Yeah.
think that it is down to entitlement because nowadays, going back to the whole Gen Z shit, Gen Zs believe that they're entitled to have their opinions and their feelings heard, which they're not. And that is why
Wait, why do you
things
think
are
they're
the
not?
way they are. Because that's not how life is. Everybody's feelings just, it's on a macro level, like your individual household. Yeah, your feelings should matter, but on the grander scheme of things, widely,
That's
Very true.
feelings don't mean
Very,
shit.
very
true.
true.
And because everybody has come to this realization or this understanding in
Yo,
themselves,
why you call the
that
man
them
Batty, man?
personal feelings
I
supposed to
joke, me,
matter
man.
to everybody else. That's the problem.
Please
No,
don't
that
take
we're
that
facing.
serious.
I have.
Like, nobody
I
cares.
disagree to an extent.
Because even now, where they go up on Twitter with it, I'm watch one video. I want little picnic. I said she no feel like learning, and she get up and wipe off the whiteboard when the teacher teach.
Oh, yes, sir.
Why she feel like fear feelings for now I learn matter? They don't matter.
Yo, it's
If the shit don't
alright.
matter, they don't matter.
There's not a balance with this whole feelings things. I'm fine. There's not a balance with it because people really are walk around and feel say them are the center of the world, bro. There's billions of us, bro. Nobody cares about you, my nigga.
So what I'm
That's their
gathering
entitlement.
is,
That's their entitlement.
what I'm
I
gathering
need to
is there are
understand.
different. Should I go?
Please go ahead, David.
What
Go
I'm
ahead, go
gathering
ahead.
is there are different like levels of entitlement, right? or different fact like sections of entitlement, because there's like individual entitlement and there's um like I don't know how to describe what
Raw
I think
teaching
of.
us.
But
Can
is there different
anybody
levels of entitlement?
can anybody at all be is sex something someone can be entitled to at all?
Dog, how you come back to that,
Yes,
dog?
Man,
yes,
shut
Dog, how
your
you come
whole
back to
mouth.
that?
Does
100%
any
yes.
No, it's not.
masculines
Legally, it's
don't
not
have
even.
lines?
No, it's not. There's no condition you can exist in that makes sex an entitlement. You can't even marry and sex be entitlement because marital
Yeah,
rape.
me like how you run
There's
behind the law now,
nothing.
brother.
There's nothing you can
Hold
do
on,
to
are
make
we
you
saying
entitled to
entitlement is
another
connected
person's
to
body.
some amount of value in
Not
exchange
unless
for
you
something
buy
else?
them, unless you own them.
All of a sudden now we have to run behind the law when we talk about what people entitled to. No, you
Wait,
can't
wait,
do
wait,
that.
wait, wait,
I
wait,
mean,
wait,
we
wait,
have to. Don't we have to, Moons?
wait,
Don't we have to?
No, we don't have to do that.
It is
wait.
the
We just
reality
have
that we
yeah,
live
we just
in.
have
What do you
hold
mean
on.
by you don't have to?
Exactly. Our
If I go
entire
run behind the law
reality
now,
is
I have the
surrounded
ball.
by
the
law.
I have the
The
law.
ball.
fact that we
Right.
I
work,
have
the
a
fact
point
that we
to make.
drive.
Well, on, make Mr. 14 finish him point.
So if apart, is there any way that a woman cannot be, or can a person not be entitled to another? Like, can a wife not be entitled to her husband's money? Is a wife entitled to her husband's money?
Yes,
Yes.
depending on. I think it depends on like how long they've been together and if she
But
had a
then,
part to
Just
play.
But
like how a
why?
husband is
why?
also entitled
I
to
don't
his
But why?
wife's
understand. That
money,
don't make any
yes.
sense to
Brother,
me.
money and
What's the
sex
Just
Hold on.
like
logic
how a
behind that?
husband is entitled to his wife's money, yes.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
why? Why is somebody why is your wife why is your partner entitled to your money?
because
Are we
his
speaking in the
wife would
context
have
of a marriage?
his wife
Hold
would
on,
have
the nipple
provided
stop. Men nipple stop.
emotional support among financial support because a lot of women hold their men down, right? When you now go
You
through the
mean
mud
bums?
before you
You
make
mean
it and all of
bums?
that. Yes, she's entitled.
Yeah, but then what about sexual support?
Because sex is a
Actually,
different
Yeah,
What are
thing.
you talking about?
emotional
I'm
support
saying
most
I
of the
would
time
argue
is the
that
sexual support.
People not own people from back in a slavery days in a dog. A slavery days,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
not
then
own a
how
dog.
I
how
have
does
no.
a
this?
I
See,
If
have a
me,
oh,
point.
that's
me
your
and
problem,
Farid,
Moons.
if me and
Moons, you
Farid,
cannot confuse sex with emotional support. Stop doing that. A lot of people do that. And that would be
It's
fine.
not one case
Real.
It is
where
not
you
synonymous.
confuse. It's not one
It
case
is
where
not
I
synonymous.
confuse the two. But just I say a lot of the times the two tend to correlate very heavily.
They
So
are not.
when
But
we
they
talk about
aren't the
emotional
same.
support, they're not
They're
the
completely
exact
different
same thing.
things.
They're not the exact same thing. But when we
Yeah,
talk about the
and
emotional
as young
support what the
people, we
woman
should be
provide,
very
So when I
careful. We should be very careful not to blur those lines.
oh my god.
well,
Because people think sex is just like, oh, fun. Because it leads
by
to
the
other
nature of what
things, right?
relationships
Hold on,
are.
hold on. Make
Hold on, one
Nipples
voice,
finish
one
the point
voice.
first.
Yes, sorry, go on.
My thing is like, it's not just sex, right? If we accumulate sex with emotional support, then when baby born or when STD come, yeah, and you realize that, oh, all that feeling I had is gone. What you gonna do? Because you thought it was love, right? You didn't take the time to separate sex from the actual person you're dealing with to figure out if I actually rate this person, if I actually want to do this thing with this person that could result in a whole nother person being born. So I think I don't know. I
Actually,
just think we should be very
Mama
careful
put it in
not
Nipples,
to blur
clarified.
those lines.
I have a point on that because it's not every time them actually look for some warm love. Sometimes them generally just look for some front, like some warm front. I don't want warm hugs. I want warm front. So
No, me not
I'm
talk
telling you,
about that. But
no,
Moon
but
said something
with
that
what
just
you're
made me
saying,
think of
yeah, but like, all right, let's put it into this context because yeah, I understand where you're going with this, you know, but let's say we have this youth named John. Let's use John again, and John knows Keisha. And the only thing that John is really feeling for after a long day of hard work is some warm, prepared front. So, if that's the case, and Keisha is benefiting from John's hard labor,
wait, how do
then
you prepare a front?
Shape it,
Sorry, go
wax
on.
it,
yeah, what do you
expose
mean
it,
by
them
what do you mean?
microwave.
you know
Steam
the
it.
I
vibe.
don't want to cut you
Steam
off,
it.
but it's just there's
Next,
one
next,
point
next.
when we did want to make in regards to why I think the emotional stuff and the sex tend to correlate. And it's
Because all
actually
them girl
what
like
you
you
are
when you
talking
vex with
right now.
front. Next question.
Still a talk. is where you talk about right now.
Yo, look at my both side. Yo.
Where they say was that sometimes the man come home and what he want is just some warm front. The thing is, a lot of the times what happen is him have put both the emotional aspect and the sex aspect together. Him don't just want some warm front, him want some
Yeah.
warm front from him wife, right? But at the same point, he does
Yeah.
want some warm front. And if him there come home and never there get the warm front, him probably wouldn't want to be with his wife. Like that's why I say the two of them tend to be correlated.
Yeah, they
It's
do
why
link.
in a one relationship in the first place. That's why sex is the biggest pillar when it comes to that type of relationship. That's
It's
it.
not, but okay.
Say
I have a point.
I see what you're saying, Moons. Yeah.
Go on.
Okay, let's fire. What's your point now?
To bring it back to the original topic about Gen Z and entitlement, I don't necessarily think well, okay, in certain contexts, yes, they probably are more entitled, but I think a big part of it is they're just a lot more vocal about it. So, like, for example, in the context of wages, oh, my grandmother probably never happy that she never did a work or she never did a get no money, but she just shut up and took it, versus Gen Z people actually complain, I don't think I'm getting paid enough, and blah, blah, blah.
But then don't you think
Yeah, I
that
think the thing with
their
Gen Z is
entitlement
like,
shows in thinking
They're
that
I
just
it
agree
matters?
about us being
vocal.
more vocal because I know foolish we grow up and see. Like, and I think the age of social media and having so much more access to so much information, like we're in the age of information, right? So you can literally Google like um oh, why is my dad touching me here? And then you find out, say, oh, shoot, my dad's molesting me. This should be happening, right? So you go, and then you
Whoa,
realize
bro.
that, oh, this is actually wrong. So you go into that, like, psychology of figuring out that, oh, this is wrong. And then when you look back in, like, theme history now, you realize that, oh, theme father probably that touch him and and that's probably such a bad analogy, but I hope you get what I'm saying. So it's just this age of information, and it's more helpful than harmful. I don't know, that's probably arguable,
I don't think so. I don't think so.
but I think that's where the entitlement comes from, because like we just grew up and see so much foolishness of like cycles that we parents go through, grandparents go through, and we're just deciding that me no want to go through that either. Like
That's
me
true.
kind of want to break that curse there. But I think where we get screwed up is we don't really know how to, and then we're so consumed by the very thing that we get the information from, right? Social media, all of this stuff. And then there are so many I mean, TikTok have so much doctor and psychology, like everybody have an answer. uh, everybody
But
have
they
an
have an
answer, right?
opinion on some.
So you're
Yo,
confused, there's too much consumption going on, and you don't really know how to process your own emotions. You don't really know what you should do to deal with it. So I think that's where the issue comes in. But I do think that the entitlement comes from just a knowledge of where things went wrong in our history, or in our parents' history. That's why I mentioned what I did earlier, because I think it's a very important point, especially in Jamaica. Like, there's so much abuse in Jamaica that isn't really talked about. There's like financial abuse, you're mad with at a picnic, or them never watch the play, say, I say, oh, I'm not getting money for go school. There's like hygiene abuse. You never teach your daughter so she for wipe after she used the toilet. Certain thing you never teach her how to wrap up her pad and put it in the bin. There's physical abuse, as we know. There's emotional abuse, verbal abuse. You put your pitney down and you say, oh, you work this like your father. You're taking out that anger on the child, right? So the access to that information online makes us realize that this is wrong, and so we get angry instead of actually trying to deal with our issues, and then we just turn idiot because we don't know what to do, so we just whatever. So anyway, I'm just rambling at this point, but when you get what I try to say.
And
I want to
like
bring up a point.
let us come
Yo.
to what? What? Oh, you have
I
a
want to
point?
bring up a point. I have a point.
Okay.
I feel like, yeah, that generation, Gen Z, it have its pros, but I feel like the media, it controls a lot of the narrative. Yo, it's going to be very controversial, but we just feel like what we're being fed more while, that's a bug of foolishness, bro.
You know, like you see with social media and so forth, like it's definitely just a very like like a overpour of just a lot of information and so forth and so, and that definitely it have its good and its bad and so forth. But now the earnest is on people to definitely to sift through all of that and find, the good information and so forth and so. But like when it comes to like generational entitlement and so forth, and being vocal about it and so forth, because yeah, definitely I believe that, because bro, like if you even listen to some old people or them talk about their life before and so, definitely we the younger generation, we are say, yo bro, me now go through all of that and then end up nowhere, because a lot of them do so much thing and build a nation, and the niggas them not there nowhere. These niggas are suffering, you get me? So like, but I think when it comes down to with the older generations and even the younger generation, it's just a lack of compassion and understanding. Because yes, definitely, with parents, they definitely do some messed up things and blah blah blah. But like at the same time, we have to remember where them are come from. And bro, sometimes the only way to move forward, even though it's cliche, moons don't jump on me, because I know you don't like them things here. But like, bro, sometimes you just have to forgive them and say, yo, them just never know better. Because even my mother, bro, sometimes when I'm younger, like me, I try vent or something what happened to me. My mother said, bro, yeah, girl, blah, blah. You watching that to a little boy? Bro, that you have me weird, brother. No. But at the same time, me not go talk like my mother never show me love and them something and blah blah blah. That is just something where she have in her mind. You get me? From PR past traumas and where she learn and so forth. You get me? So like moving forward and so, yo, we definitely have to understand why all of that happen. And at the same time with our Gen Z, bro, like even though it's not a lot in a Jamaica, but like especially in first world countries, especially America, so this whole canceling thing and so forth, bro, we have to remember, yo, yes, at the same time, yo, be vocal about whatever we need to be vocal about. But don't tear down the establishment, because at the end of the day, it's that same establishment we are benefiting from. You get me? And our job is to make everything better and so forth. You get me? Don't shit on everybody.
Facts.
Real.
But actually disagree when you said, oh, my bad. Oh yeah, we reached over hour.
Yeah, we reached over time now. So I think Mr. Nothing in 14 had one more thing to say, and then we'll just close right after that. So Mr. 14, can you just
so going back to the point of, I'm referring to purple. So going back to the point of damn motherfucking entitlement to a partner being entitled to resources. Let's say in this case, me and Fard dead. Me and Fard.
Why?
Shut your mouth. So let's say me and Fard have very nasty sex every night.
Jesus.
Fard, I am rich. Fard broke and worthless. We do our thing. I personally don't believe that she's entitled to my resources. If she is entitled to my resources, then I'm entitled to more. The only thing I think a partner is entitled to is like feelings and like love and such. Zine. But otherwise from that, if she is entitled to my resources, what resources in the average rich man, poor girl relationship, what resources is the man entitled to from the poor girl?
You mean apart from feelings?
That weird. Hold
on. Apart from feelings, what resource? What resources?
At the root of your argument.
So your love not come with provisions. Your love and compassion not come with. Your sister the girl broke and all you do is skin her out.
I would be the one providing Farid with bread and milk and food.
So 14. Question 14. Question. Yeah, you hear me, right?
Yes.
So one question, Matthew. Did you purchase a whore?
No. Yeah, but
I mean,
in a roundabout way.
That's all I'm saying. At this point, if you as Bill Gates pick up one common street girl and you're saying, okay, you can be entitled to all my shit, but you have to skin out anytime I clap, man. That's not the type of relationship I am talking about when I say entitled to resources. Overall, I don't think anybody, unless you could have detached your cocky and gear and she could have detached her front and gear, you can't entitled to somebody's body.
What a
word
that would
sense. that a slavery. That don't make no sense unless you bought this prostitute and you're saying, yo, here's my money. When me clap my hand, bend over. Unless that's what's going on, that
But
don't make sense.
so purple, how is it slavery if she accept the terms of the relationship? If
But
she
if they
decides
accept
she wants to
terms,
skin out
no.
anytime in clap, how is that
No, but
slavery?
then at
No,
that
but
rate,
then that's not entitlement anymore. You made an agreement.
Yeah,
made an
that's
agreement.
that's
So,
prostitution
Listen,
at
at that
that
point,
point.
it's a
Man.
essentially
contract.
That's just
Like, for
prostitution
real.
at
I
that
think
point.
for
Man.
14 they are trying to get at is it okay if the woman is entitled to the man's resources like money? Is it okay for the man to be entitled to the woman's body? Both of them come to the agreement said that's what it is.
No, but
Is
when
it
they come to
okay?
agreement,
If it is an
when they come to an
agreement, then it's
agreement, it's
no
no longer
longer
entitlement.
entitlement.
So
Yeah.
all right. So
in the
basically,
in
the
there
woman is
are
just magically entitled to the man's money by nature of existing and being
No,
a woman.
everybody entitled to everything other than another
Nobody
human.
said
Why?
that,
Why that's
bro.
so
Flip the
hard?
gender,
Why
bro.
that's so
Because one
hard?
man would be
Entitled to
entitled to
everything
the
No,
woman
other
only
than
if
another.
Whoa,
she
whoa,
is
whoa,
rich,
whoa,
bro.
whoa. Hold
Everybody
on.
Just
every
because
time
she
these
Hold
exists,
on.
everything
Yo,
else
look off
other
this.
than a person, other than a human being, you're entitled to everything. That's all, you know. It's not complicated. Other than the human, you're entitled to every rascal thing else. Everything else.
why if me not
That
consider a
is.
human?
Hey,
What?
yeah,
man.
alright.
Back
With
up,
that,
yo, yo,
with
yo,
that,
yo, yo.
let us come to an end for this night of the podcast. Wow. So with that, now let's just do our annual or regular, I should say, final take of the episode. So I'll start in order, and I'll go with Mr. Kite. So Mr. Kite, coming out of this episode, what is your final take?
Boy, my final take, Gen Z entitled, isn't me? But isn't me? There's positives and there's negatives. And Mr. Nothing, stop calling for her name, isn't me? We done.
Okay then. Farid, what is your final take for the episode?
Um,
God damn.
come back to me.
Purple, Mr. Purple. What's your final take on the episode?
Oh, yeah, man. Gen Z entitled. You see me? Gen Z very entitled. And I don't know if it's good or bad, but them entitled.
Okay, fair. Moons, what is your final submission for tonight?
I love everybody.
Amazing, love that, great. Mr. Weather Report. So, yeah.
Yo, in all honesty, bro, I think entitlement just guided by conditions or relationships, and it's just something that comes into existence when there's a condition, bro. You see me? It's just a condition that has to be met. You see me? And a union or something, brother. You see it. If I just more than one person, and you guys come to an agreement, it just have to come.
Okay, fair. Mr. Nothing in 14. What's your final?
I believe that my final note is that yes, people are entitled, but as I said, if in the relationships where as Jaculation said earlier, there are women that use men in the relationships where, let's say me and Fred they are married and have 100 baby and we fuck every day. Zine, in situations like that, if Farid has nothing, it is somewhat. Let me not even move on the moral side of it. No, actually, moving to the moral side of it. Come on, if you look at the relationship and say, "Oh wow, say Farid broke," but Farid always I go on cruise with 14. And 14 own Microsoft. Wow, I wonder what most likely 14 go to Farid and say, yo, skin out your hole. She must fucking, right? Because clearly she's not the one paying for the ships. So there must be, but granted, if you're going down the road of we are entitled to each other's resources, then I would assume that if you have no resources, you see it. Anyways, mother.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Jaculation, what's What is your final pick?
I wish the Queen made it to 100 or above.
Ew.
You know,
God damn it,
I wish. And I wish Jamaica becomes like even more a colony of England, you know? I really
Real,
wish
real.
that, bro.
Big up,
For
big
real,
up, big up.
bro.
Real.
For real.
Love, love,
Because
love,
we
love,
are behave like Jamaican government is a better alternative than them niggas there.
Okay. Yeah, wrap up
Talk
this.
about.
Okay, yeah. So, Farid,
Big up
what
the
your final
Queen,
pick?
you know, Queen
Wrap up
Elizabeth.
this.
Love you.
Biggie.
What's
My
the
thoughts are that entitlement isn't inherently negative. Lock off this. And
Okay.
stop calling me name.
I guess nipples dropped out. So we'll just end it right there. So guys, once again I'd like to thank you for coming out for another episode of the General Podcast. I know you can catch us here every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Jamaican time. So like to remind you guys to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Please help us get to 100 subscribers. That is our first landmark. And just look out for more episodes, and you can just send us suggestions. So thank you guys. Good night. Amazing.